Hello friend, how's it going? Today we're talking about monthly financial tasks and all the spreadsheets that might be connected to it. Have you ever sat down at the end of the month and realized that some bills slipped through the cracks, subscription renewed you didn't need, and that annual insurance charge hit you by surprise? It's not you, it's your system. That's what I'm convinced of anyways. By the end of this video, you will learn how to get away from all this sad and confusing looking templates for annual budgets, like this one, for example, which is like super long and supposedly default from Google Sheets. But also this one, which kind of goes through many different tabs and has a lot of design effort in it, apparently. And what I'm going to try to do instead is to try to visualize the whole budget experience and try to fit it all in one screen. I think that's kind of the main the main thrust behind this video. Hello, I'm Zhenya. I'm an information designer, previously worked at The Guardian. I did my PhD on complex systems, and I'm generally interested in things that do not work. And today we're going to tackle one big thing that doesn't work. It's a system around how you see your money. And I've put an emphasis on the word see because I'm not a financial advisor in any capacity. I'm information designer, so I'm mostly interested in how things look. And I want to try to kind of to create this journey of trying to make the finances more visible. And this, I believe, is done in 3 ways. Yeah. Develop a monthly habit, build an overview of your whole year, aka fit everything on one screen, and split your expenses into monthly, annual, irregular, and savings. I think that's kind of the main things. However, before we plunge into that journey, I wanted to share my screen here and try to kind of think about what it is exactly we're doing. Yeah, and you know that the best way to do it is to make a sketch. Yeah, so imagine we have this table. Here's a nice header, it has a number of rows, and it has some sort of columns happening. Yeah. So what I want to do with it is hopefully you see it at least a part of my face. That would be fine. So essentially what I want to try to do is I want to do definitely months, so because it's a whole year, so I want months going that way, and I want my expenses going this way. Expenses. This way I can see the progression of the year, and I can list as many expenses as I want in the down below. Yeah. And another thing I probably want is to have my totals running on one side of the table, preferably here, because here obviously I'm gonna have the titles. Yeah, here I'm gonna have the titles of the things. So totals here, and I actually think that I can summarize the totals for month. So I'm gonna be looking at the totals for month here vertically, and I'm gonna looking for totals for each row in the end. Yeah, and one important thing that I would like to try to do is, and let me get this kind of really nice and bold. I want to try to create 4 divisions, and obviously you can have as many more as you like, but these 4 are kind of the main ones, and these are, you've guessed it, monthly, annual, one off, and the last one is saving, because this also counts as an expense. Yeah, so this way I kind of have all of them kind of split vertically, and I'll explain the reasoning behind this. Why? This is how it looks. And with this in mind, it's always nice to have a sketch, because then when you design your sheet, it becomes a bit more clear what are we trying to do here. Yeah. So with this in mind, let's go to those 3 points quickly. Yeah. So one is develop a monthly habit. The second one is build the thing, as we just sketched out, and then how you split them. Yeah. So with regards to the habit, we already discussed this a little bit in other videos, but essentially the whole idea behind building a habit is like to start very small and just focus on repeating it frequently. Yeah, because frequency is more important than what are you actually doing. Yeah, so if you look at this book, which explains it rather well, it's James Clear Atomic Habits. It's not affiliated in any way, but it kind of helps to understand what is this. And I think he writes that if you want to write a book, you start by writing 1 line per day. Yeah, and once you build that habit, if you sit down and you write, then you can actually start doing more and more, and then you kind of pile those efforts on top of one another, and then it becomes um, a regular thing that gives you massive results. Then also another thing to mention is this one, tie your financial review to specific time each month. And usually it's like a big outgoing, because you have a certain amount of money in your bank account, and you also have some amount of money that leaves that bank account regularly each month. Yeah, so you want to do your monthly review just before this happens, so that you are prepared and you know how much money is there, so that everything is nice and tidy. And the last thing is implementation intentions, which is essentially stacking the habits. Yeah, so attaching one habit to another. So if you find something that you do naturally every month, I don't know, what could you be doing every month? So like payday, for example, or like as we mentioned, yeah, or credit card or bank statement cycle, or some sort of just date, first of the month, etc. That could be something that you can stack your habit on. Yeah, calendar reminder. It's as simple as that. Okie dokie. And then we go to the actual thing. Yeah, create a year-long financial calendar. Let me show you the template, which is this one. And just to remind you, this template is available for free copying in the download section of my website. I'm gonna put the link down in the description box. And obviously, all learning on YouTube is for free, and you find a lot of resources, because obviously this is not a finance video. That's just a kind of a data visualization video. That's more than anything else. Yeah, so you want to educate yourself on the personal finance basics alongside designing your own spreadsheet. And yeah, that's why it's kind of important. If you hit the like button in this video and also subscribe to my channel, because the more likes I get, the more people have the chance to educate themselves against all Google Sheets shenanigans, right? So we're looking at this, and the benefit of having it like that versus other types of templates, which are obviously nice, but they are mostly, I think the reason why they do it is because they are mostly for more kind of sophisticated and more granular research around your finances. However, if you're starting out, or even if you don't start out, but just want to have like an easy accessible dashboard that gives you an overview at one glance, I think you should aim for something like this. Yeah. So as we explained in the sketch, where is the sketch? So remember the sketch, yeah? Months across, expenses down, totals in the top and left, and 4 categories. Yeah, so that's what we have here. Let me try if I can make it slightly bigger. You get the months here. You get your categories of payment here, and you have totals running here. And also all the outputs and all the figures you want to pay attention to, they are kind of the results here. They're also in the top. So let's explain it a little bit. So how does it actually work? So for each month, and there is also, I include in the spreadsheet, I also include the first tab, which is the instructions. Yeah, so it's like 3 steps. Enter the amount of this month's credit cards and bank, then transfer in and out, or whatever you want to do with this money, and change settle status to pending. Then it hits the current account, change it to closed. What does that mean? Essentially, you fill out all the months with everything that you already know. You can kind of, if you know that council tax is always this amount, you can just fill out for the whole year, and you don't think about it again. Yeah, the same with any loans or software subscriptions, mobile subscription, health insurance, things like that. Yeah, so it's all kind of goes by itself. Then the only thing that you need to actually fill out every month is the credit card statements, because you will never know how much it's going to be unless before they actually send you the statement. Yeah, so you fill out this. For example, imagine this is current month. You need to color it as current month, which I usually do like that. So now this is a current month. I find the credit card statement, which goes here, and then another one, for example, if I have a second one, it's here, and then I fill out whatever current account balance is. Yeah, so for example, this one card statement says 80 pounds, the other one says 50 pounds. Then the current bank account is to 2200. Yeah, so for example, this is things that you need to fill out. Then you have the expenses this month row. This one, it shows you the whole shebang. Yeah, all of the expenses that you incur this month. This is the balance. I also like to add a safety buffer usually, which means that I just retain some cash in my bank account just in case of any unexpected expenses. And then you get to this number in the transfer to savings row, which is essentially current account balance minus this and minus this. Yeah, so it gives you the remaining kind of free money after you exclude everything. And then you can do whatever you want with this money. You can transfer them to savings account, or you can hopefully have some fun with it instead. So that's how kind of the reasoning behind all of this works. Yeah. So once you've done that, for example, if you want to transfer money out, then that's why I added also the status drop down, and actually please check out the drop down video. I just published it recently, and because it's one of the most frequently used tools in all the spreadsheets, so kind of goes into more detail about it. But here essentially you have a drop down, you change it to pending, and once everything is done, once the money hit whatever bank account you need, then you change it to close, and then you change the current month to next month. Yeah, you move this dark marker to the next month. That kind of makes it visible that this month's work is done. And now one word about the categorizing. Yeah, so you see that we have categorized it here to monthly, annual, irregular, and saving. Yeah, so the reason behind doing this is that it makes it easy to understand which day of the month you need to do, or which day of the year. because obviously monthly would always have the date. For example, council always goes on the first of the month, pension payments on the first of the month. So this software subscription pays on the 8th of the month every month. This way, when I have the habit of doing MFT, monthly financial task, on specific date of the month, I know what the date is now and what am I looking into, what kind of outgoings are going to be. If I'm doing it on the first, then I know that today is going to be council tax and pension, the day after tomorrow is going to be this, 3 things, and so forth. And then annual doesn't work this way, obviously, because it's going out every year. So which kind of also cool, because then it allows me to say, okay, I'm going to be paying for my VPN every December on the 1st of December, yeah, every year. And that kind of, I put it there, and then it all gets, and then it kind of doesn't escape my view. It's all there. I can see it. It's quite transparent. I don't even have to scroll anywhere. I just see it. Even though it's like in 3 months' time, I can still know that it's there. Then irregular ones, likewise, are things that happen less frequently than a month. However, they are also not attached to any subscription, so they're not. If you pay it once, you don't expect it to pay again in the same sum regularly. Yeah. So I spent once in May my vacation rent, and then there's going to be friend's wedding. I spend this much on Christmas gifts, and I spend this much in December. Yeah. So these are my outgoings for those specific months. And then finally is the savings, which I usually subtract also, because, for example, I have this idea that I need to be paying down house down payments to 250 every month, and then also vacation. And this is where it's actually quite nice to have this totals column, because it shows me, like, for example, I know that I spent 500 last year on my vacation. Yeah. I need to have at least this amount for next year already. Yeah, so I'm saving for that £50 per month, and I can just put it there. And then this column, which is marked this nice green color, is the sum of everything that I save. And actually, there's also a very nice concept that I like, which is called wish farm. And there's a YNAB video, and that explains it really well, and I also want to make a video about it, and I'm gonna leave description down below for the YNAB. YNAB is it's an app called, like, I think it's like abbreviation for you need to budget or something like that, and it's an app which is usually recommended to people. I don't know, it doesn't work for me, and I'm probably going to make a video about it also, but they have a really nice YouTube channel which kind of helped me solidify a lot of things, so I recommend that. So what I wanted to say here is that, yes, like, we focus on this expenses this month row, and essentially what it does, as you see, it summarizes the whole shebang of monthly, annual, and irregular, and then it also adds to this the cell which contains the sum of all the savings. That's what it kind of does. Yeah. Well, you can do it different ways. Obviously, this is why I'm explaining this to you. You can copy this template, you can work with it, you can create your own afterwards. It doesn't really matter how you do it, just as long as you keep it on one screen. I think that's the most important part. And I think that's pretty much all about this template. And just to reiterate, what happened here is yeah, develop a monthly habit, build an overview of your whole year, fit in one screen, split your expenses into monthly, annual, regular, and savings. And that's all, folks. Please leave comments down below if you find it useful, if you have any suggestions, and I'm gonna attach these 2 videos here. One is the more general overview of how you design your spreadsheets, and that's what we kind of did this sketch in the beginning, as you remember. Yeah, so that's a video that goes in more detail about that. And there's also another video I'm going to attach here, which is a use case of similar spreadsheets for your grocery shopping. That's also quite an interesting use case. All right, thanks a lot. I'll see you later.